God's unique plan for world renewal. 12th lesson. Ladder. From the ancient time, learned ones, great souls and philosophers tried a lot to know the secrets of the time before birth and after death of human being. Since Islam and Christianity doesn't believe in rebirth of the soul, this topic hasn't been discussed in the literature or the religious books of those religious lands. But in India, rebirth has been accepted for many centuries, so there is no shortage of literature or books related to this topic here. However, because of just one mistake, the Bharatvasis have forgotten their golden history and their contribution to the origin and development of the various civilizations and religions of the world. That mistake is to think that the soul is born in 8.4 million species because of body consciousness. Even then, Bharat has become the land of actions of God Shiv because of accepting the theory of God's incarnation and the rebirth of human beings. The Supreme Father Shiv himself comes and narrates the story of the many births to the human souls because he alone is beyond the cycle of birth and death, and he knows the past, present, and future. He comes and, first of all, removes this misconception of the human soul being born in 8.4 million species. He tells that the human soul is reborn only as a human being depending on its deeds and is not born as animal or bird. Since Bharat itself is the place of origin of all the civilizations, cultures and religions of the entire world, the Supreme Father Shiv comes and first narrates the story of the rise and fall of only Bharat. God Shiv says, a human soul passes through maximum 84 births in this drama of 5,000 years, or the world cycle, and doesn't wander in 8.4 million species. This was already explained in the first lesson. Now, who is Bharat? Will only the land mass surrounded by oceans and the Himalayas be called Bharat? No. Actually, Bharat is the most elevated soul or the supreme soul who represents the Indian civilization and culture. When there is Mother India, there should certainly be the Father Bharat as well, because in Bharat, only couples like Lakshmi Narayan are worshipped and praised. These mother and father of Bharat themselves were Lakshmi Narayan at the beginning of this 5,000-year drama. So, in this picture, the story of the 84 births of the mother and the father of this world and of us children has been described. In the beginning of the Golden Age, Sri Krishna and Sri Radhe are born to the confluence age Lakshmi Narayan as the crown prince and crown princess respectively. When they grow up and are engaged to each other, they too receive the title of Lakshmi Narayan. In this way, apart from the confluence age Lakshmi Narayan, there are 8 generations of Lakshmi Narayan in the Golden Age, which are called Suryavanshi generations. However, there is no Kans along with Krishna, neither the acts of Krishna mentioned in the Bhagavad, nor does the Mahabharat war take place, because there is no name or trace of sorrow and restlessness in heaven established by God Shiv. In fact, all these events take place in a subtle form in the confluence age, and in the copper age, they are written in the form of stories by sages for the sake of guidance. The children of the last Lakshmi Narayan of the Golden Age don't have the fortune to rule, because they didn't make complete spiritual effort in the confluence age. So, the control of the kingdom goes into the hands of the deities called Sri Sita Ram, and this marks the beginning of the Silver Age and the Moon Dynasty. The deities have 12 births in the Silver Age. That is why there are 12 generations of Sri Sita and Sri Ram there. Just like there is no Kans with Krishna in the Golden Age, similarly, there is no Ravan with Ram here in the Silver Age. Just like the Bhagavad and the Mahabharat, the incidents of the epic Ramayana also takes place in a subtle form in the confluence age, which is later on written in the form of the story of Ramayana, in the Copper Age. In fact, the kingdom of Ravan, meaning the kingdom of the five vices, begins from the Copper Age. In the beginning of the Silver Age, the population of Bharat is approximately 2 crore, that is 20 million, and by the end of this age it reaches up to 90 to 100 million. At the beginning of the Silver Age, the deities are complete with 14 celestial degrees, but in the course of having 12 births, they lose 6 celestial degrees. These celestial degrees are actually the various stages of the consciousness of the soul, which reduces from the Golden Age till the Iron Age, like the stage of the moon, and increases only in the shooting period in the Confluence Age. The duration of the Silver Age is also 1250 years. But since they have 4 additional births here, the lifespan and happiness also decrease when compared to the Golden Age. The Golden and Silver Age together are called the Kingdom of Ram, because the souls who are revealed in the form of Lakshmi Narayan in the Golden Confluence Age themselves also play the part of the first Sitaram in the Silver Age. At the end of the Silver Age, when the soul is left with just 8 celestial degrees, every soul becomes body conscious to some extent. With this, the period of heaven ends and the kingdom of Ravan, or hell, or the Copper Age begins. The Copper Age is also of 1250 years, and in it, the souls have 21 births. As soon as the deities become body conscious, they become ordinary human beings, and because of being overpowered by the 5 vices like lust, anger, and so on, they are stuck in the swamp of sorrow and restlessness. From the Copper Age, most of the actions become wrong actions, because the actions are performed with body consciousness. In this way, a series of karmic bondages starts from the Copper Age, which ends at the end of the Confluence Age. Because of the sinful acts, the sorrowful human beings take the shelter of God for peace and happiness from the Copper Age. The souls belonging to the ancient deity religion construct temples at first and start the unadulterated worship of Shivling, the form of the one who transforms them into deities in the Confluence Age. The Somnath temple built by King Vikramaditya at the beginning of this age is the proof of this. Apart from this, the Copper Age Shivlings, or naked idols of Shankar, have been found in the excavations all around the world. Later, the Bharatvasis start worshipping their own pure forms, that is the Golden Age deities. First, the temples of Sri Lakshmi and Sri Narayan are built, and later, the temples of Sri Sita and Sri Ram are built. As it is clear from the pictures, those who worship deities as couples wear crowns, whereas those who worship Krishna as a single deity don't have the fortune of wearing crowns. This clarifies the disrespect towards the female deities in the form of the mothers in Bharat and its outcome. Just after a short period after the beginning of the Copper Age, the task of creating scriptures such as the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and so on is started by the sages in Bharat. Just like it was explained in the picture of the Kalpa tree, the establishment of the other religions also begins from the Copper Age. Since this picture depicts only the story of the 84 births of Bharat, the origin and development of the other religions isn't being discussed here. The arrival of the foreign invaders and their bad effects on Bharat begins from the Copper Age itself. First of all, the Bharatvasis forget the very name of their religion, and the name, Hinduism, given by the foreigners becomes popular. With the beginning of the Iron Age, Bhakti also becomes adulterated in Hinduism. It means that from the worship of one god Shiv at the beginning of the path of Bhakti, now, in the beginning of the Iron Age, it changes into the worship of thousands and millions of deities. The worship of deities with animal forms as well as the worship of trees, plants, and even the non-living things also becomes popular. The situation reaches to such an extent that even the worship of bodily beings with their bodies made of 5 elements begins. Along with the adulterated bhakti, blind faith, improper practices, and meaningless customs and traditions also spread in the Indian society. To worship the idols of the deities grandly, and then to immerse them in water is also an example of such meaningless traditions. With the downfall of religion in Bharat, the downfall of human beings' character also reaches its climax by the end of the Iron Age. Most of the human beings become corrupt in their religion, actions, and they become atheists. Both the religious power and the political power degrade. In the Iron Age, the human souls have 42 births. This is why, on one side, the population increases, and on the other side, the lifespan decreases. Diseases, sorrow, and restlessness increase. Bharat, which was called the Golden Bird once, reaches the stage of seeking financial help from other countries and international institutions. When the Vedas, scriptures, gurus, or religious fathers are unable to stop this downfall of the world in general and Bharat in particular, the Supreme Father Shiv has to incarnate on the land of Bharat in order to uplift the world. At the end of this 5,000-year drama, God enters the body of an ordinary aged man and through the knowledge of the Gita and Rajyog, transforms Bharat into heaven, where the elevated souls of the world who recognize God and become pure, gather. The period of God's incarnation is called the Confluence Age. At its end, after the destruction, all the religious lands except Bharat are submerged in the ocean for 2500 years. After the great destruction, majority of the souls suffer punishments, thus become pure, and return to the supreme abode along with that incorporeal one. But some elevated souls are left in the land of Bharat, who commence the divine world. These 450,000, that is 4.5 lakh seed form souls, along with their children, have complete 84 births, but the souls that descend from the supreme abode later have fewer births according to the time of their arrival. Along with the spiritual downfall of Bharat, the world also degrades. However, in comparison to the people of Bharat, the foreigners don't become much sorrowful and sinful because their part begins in this world from the copperage. The extent to which the Bharatvasis become elevated and pure in the Golden Age, they become corrupt and sinful to the same extent at the end of the Iron Age. This is why, at the end of the Iron Age, when the great destruction takes place, the foreigners will leave their body in few seconds without experiencing much pain because of the destructive power of the atom bombs. But the Bharatvasis, who have accumulated more sins, will return to the supreme abode after experiencing sorrow and pain for a longer time and after burning their sins in particular, through the sorrow caused by natural calamities and civil wars. But in the middle of this frightening display of destruction, the Alokik family of the Supreme Father Supreme Soul will experience super sensuous joy and peace in the same way as it is famous in the story of the devotee Prahlad. The souls who understand the words said by Trimurti God Shiv will become pure and they will again be transformed from human beings to deities and make an auspicious beginning of the Golden Age heaven in Bharat. But those who remain ignorant even after recognizing him and don't destroy the burden of sins through the method of Rajyog will destroy their sins through atomic war, world war, natural calamities, violent wars, punishments from Dharmaraj and so on, return to the supreme abode, and then come to this world at their time to play their part again in the next cycle of 5,000 years. In this way, this story of the 84 births of Bharat is repeated every 5,000 years.